Hello, this is Darren Pearson from darrenscorner.com, and welcome to part two, where we're going to be creating our second scene in Tumult Hype called the main scene. So if you haven't already, please navigate to darrenscorner.com, click on the tutorial section, and look for part two. There's the video, and then we have creation of the main scene instructional file. So I'll click on there, and we should get part2.zip. I've already downloaded that folder. And if we look inside of it, that folder contains 4 files. The two that we'll be looking at the most are part2 elements.txt and part2 start.hype. So if I click on part2 start.hype, this pops up, and this is basically where we should have been at the end of our first tutorial. We have our splash scene that then has, we can see 4 elements: background, title 1, byline, and start button. So we have that. We're going to be creating a second scene, and the guide to do that is this text file, part2 elements.txt. So we'll be walking through this. We can see we only had 4 elements in the first scene. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 elements in the main scene. So quite a few more. We can see all our positioning for that. So I'm going to start by duplicating this scene. So this scene's called Splash. If this is not expanded, click right here to expand. We can expand and collapse that. Select the Splash scene, and from the pull-down menu, I'm going to say Scene, Duplicate Scene. And it calls it Splash Copy. I'm going to click right here and rename it to Main. And we can see it's pretty much the same scene. And I'm going to go in and select the title. I'll hold down Shift, select the byline, and select the Start button, and just say Edit, Delete. So I just have the background image there. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a couple of text elements here. So the first one, keep the background image, delete the text elements in the button. I'm going to now do this step. I'm going to create a text element, set the inner HTML to question XX of YY. You'll see why we do that a little bit later. Typography, metrics, and identity. And just go through this, and I'll do the first couple ones and explain along the way what's happening. So, element text. I click the pencil icon and just say, in all caps, question XX of YY. So this would be like question 1 of 5, question 2 of 5, something like that. I go into my typography, and again, for most of this project, I'm using Arial Black. I'm going to set this to size 24. Color is yellow. And this one I want to make sure is left justified. And under the metrics, position this thing at left equals 0, top equals 30. Width is 320. Height is 45. There we go. And again, I have to give this a unique ID, so I go over to identity. It calls it text right now. I'm going to call this info display. And I have to do this in both places, display. And notice I called it info display with a capital D. Sometimes they call this camel case, I've heard. And we need to make sure this is exact, because later on when we use JavaScript, we'll be using a getElementById function, and that has to match exactly. So if we call this info display with a lowercase d, your JavaScript isn't going to work. So that's our first one. For the second one, I'm just going to select this and say Edit Copy, and then Edit Paste, and we get a second one right there. That's going to go over here, and I'll double-click, click the pencil icon, and I'm going to change this and say score: 000,000, something like that. There we go. And so I've got the inner HTML. The typography should pretty much be the same. Arial Black, 24, yellow, left justified. I'll go over to the metrics, and I'll set this at left equals 750, top is 30, width is 270, height is 45. There we go. But this one will have a unique ID of, we're going to call it score display. So display name and unique ID are changed to score display. Okay, that's doing good. We've already got a copy of that. I'm going to say edit paste and put that down there. And this one, I'm going to click the pencil icon and change the inner HTML to this. Now we put in normal text, we also have these things. We can put in HTML inside our inner HTML, and these are just breaks. So right now it just reads question, 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 break, and then we have 2 more lines there. So I'm just going to copy that, click the pencil icon, and paste that in there. Let's justify, move this over just a bit. And so that's looking good. Notice we got kind of a small box. We're going to change that. I'm going to change this Arial black. I want this to be 24, yellow, left justified. Under the metrics, left equals 130, top equals 130, width is 790, height is 145. There we go. So this is going to be the trivia question, you know, asking the first question, the second question, the third one. We're going to use JavaScript to change the inner HTML, but you get an idea of, you know, what the font size is going to be and how this is going to be positioned. The last thing we need to do, we got the typography and the metrics. This one needs to be called question display. And question display. There we go. So I kind of get the idea of how this works. And again, uppercase, lowercase, really important if we want to have our JavaScript work. Next element, rectangle. Here under elements, I'm going to say fill style is none, so we can see through it, but I'll give it a 10 pixel border with a radius of 25 that makes it curved. And let's see, and I'll make it yellow just to kind of match all that. Positioning, it's at left equals 100, top is 100, width should be 850, and height is 180. There we go. And I think I'll call this thing border 1, B-O-R-D-E-R 1, B-O-R-D-E-R 1, all lowercase. Okay, so we've got that. Give me 1 second to kind of change what I'm displaying here. We're up to that point. Now we're going to put in answer A, B, C, D, and E. These are very similar, so once I do the first one, I can kind of do the others. So I'm just going to grab this, edit copy, edit paste, move it down here, double click and change the inner HTML to temporarily say answer space A, and typography, Arial black, 24, yellow, left justified, metrics, left is 100, top is 310, width is 900, height is 55. And the unique ID should be answer A display. So answer A display. And again, notice uppercase and lowercase, the A and the D are capitalized there. So basically, I'm just going to select this one and do edit copy, edit paste. And I'll eyeball it and then go back. And I'm just going to paste it 4 times. There we go. And I'll go in and change the inner HTML to be answer B. Pencil icon, answer C. Answer D. And as you probably guessed, answer E. There we go. And then let's double check kind of the position. The typography should all be the same. Arial black, 24, yellow, left justified. That's good. The positioning in the metrics, B should be at left equals 100, top equals 380. Height and width are the same. C should be left equals 100, top equals 450. D equals top equals 520. And E should be top equals 590, something like that. And then I need to go in and change the unique IDs. So it should be display, or answer B display, A-N-S-W-E-R-B display. Click this one, Answer C, display. Answer D, display. I'm just doing a copy and paste here. Don't put anything in class name for right now. Answer E, display. Oops. Copy, paste. Answer E, display. So things are looking good. We've got 3 more rectangles and a text element to put in. So, element, rectangle. There it is. Go into the elements property, and fill style should be color. And I'm going to choose red for this one. And I'm going to make his border 0, so he has no border around him. Again, color really doesn't matter if the border is 0. In the metrics, he's positioned at left equals 110, top equals 680, width is 780, height is 40. So I'll scroll down just a little bit so we can see that's going to be kind of the bar that eventually animates. I'm just going to call this, again, the names, I just kind of came up with them. We just need to be consistent. Call it red slider because it's a slider bar, colored red. Next, another rectangle. This one under the, again, I'm going off right here. I just did the red slider there. Now I'm going to create border 2 right there. So fill style, none. Border, width is 15. Radius, I thought 30 looked kind of pretty. And make this yellow. And under the metrics, this guy is left equals 100, top equals 665, width is 850, height is 70. And his unique ID is border 2, BORDER2, BORDER2. There we go. Looks good. Next, one more rectangle. Let's see here. Fill style, color. Let's make this guy red. Border 15. Radius is, I think, 50. And I'm going to make the border color blue. Blue. There we go. Positioning. Left equals 810. Top equals 650. Width equals 150. Height is 100. And the unique ID, I'm going to call this countdown border. There we go. And lastly, we need a text element that goes inside there. I'm going to click on that and change the inner HTML to 1000. Because it'll be 1000 initially when the page loads. Eventually, then, as the timer goes off, it goes decrements by, I chose by values of 50. So we'll go 950, 900, 850, 800. Typography, again, let's make it Arial black. I'm going to put in 28. Notice we have 24 and 36. I'm just going to click right up there and manually type in 28 that we have right there. And I'll make him white. There we go. White, centered, and his positioning left equals 825. Top equals 670. Width is 120. Height is 60. And I'm going to give him the unique ID, countdown text. Something like that. So that looks pretty good. I'll do a file save and preview this. Notice we haven't put any, I guess we're not going to really see it here because we haven't put any actions on that button. But one of the nice things about Tumult Hype, I can actually say preview and say current scene in browser. And it immediately jumps to scene 2. So you can kind of see what this layout looks like. This is what it looks like in Chrome. And of course, if I want to take a look at it in Firefox, I can do that. Or I can choose current scene in browser. And here's what it looks like in Firefox. And I can go and test out my other browsers as well. So thanks so much, and that's the end of part 2.